So you're thinking about becoming an admissions counselor? Huh?
It's a pretty big decision.
Yeah.
Helping students figure out that whole jump from high school to college.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah. On this deep dive, we're going to break down all the important stuff from this article, How to Become an Admissions Counselor by Jared Canise.
Okay.
It's like your cheat sheet for the whole world of college admissions.
I like it.
All right, so...
A lot of people think this job is just reading applications all day, but it's a lot more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're kind of a guide, like a matchmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Helping students find the right college for them.
I see.
And you're also representing the college or the university. You kind of embody their values and their culture.
Yeah, so you're like the face of the school.
Exactly.
I remember when I was applying to college, it was just crazy, like a whirlwind of visits and essays and waiting for that,
That envelope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming for students.
Absolutely.
Admissions counselors are really important for making it all make sense and giving advice every step of the way. This article mentions a bunch of skills you need.
Yeah.
Obviously, communication and organization.
Well, of course.
But it also says sales skills.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking about education or selling cars here?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But think about it. You're kind of presenting the school to potential students,
Yeah.
You have to be able to explain what makes that school special and why they should go there.
Okay. So like a sales pitch.
Exactly.
Should I dig out my old yearbook and start practicing my pitch for my school?
A-B.
Remember the late night study sessions and the interesting cafeteria food?
Well, maybe stick to the good stuff, like their academics and the faculty, maybe their research opportunities and internships.
All right, no more cafeteria jokes.
Sounds good.
Let's get back to how to become an admissions counselor.
Okay.
The article gives 4 main steps.
Mm-hmm.
First, you need a bachelor's degree.
Right. Makes sense.
Then you need an internship, which is super important for actual experience and making connections.
I see.
Then the job search.
Which can be scary in any field. It can be really competitive.
Yeah.
The article says it's really important to make your resume and cover letters specific to each school.
Okay.
Research their programs and what they value and what they've been up to recently.
Shows that you're actually interested in that school.
Exactly.
So no generic cover letters. Got it.
Right.
How do you stand out from everyone else? What are hiring managers looking for?
Highlight any experience you have working with students, even if it's just volunteering or mentoring, and show off your communication skills.
Yeah.
Remember, this job is all about connecting with people.
Right. It's not just about applications. It's about building relationships with students, guiding them through the process, and helping them make a huge decision.
Exactly.
Okay, so the last step is getting involved in professional organizations.
Right. Those organizations offer great resources and training, and you can network with other people in the field.
It's like building a support system for your career.
Yeah, I like that.
So we've got the roadmap,
Mm-hmm.
degree, internship, job search, and professional organizations.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the money? Can you make a good living doing this?
Well, the article gives average salaries for admissions counselors.
Okay.
It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but it's stable, and there's potential to grow, especially if you really care about education and helping students.
And speaking of growth, the article talks about moving up to leadership roles like assistant director or even dean of admissions.
Right.
What kind of person does well in those higher level positions? Is it all about being organized and detail-oriented? Or are there other important qualities?
It's a mix of skills and personality. You need to be a good leader, obviously, but also you need to understand the admissions process really well and be good at analyzing data.
I see.
And you have to be good at building relationships with everyone from faculty to alumni.
So you're not just reviewing applications anymore, you're shaping the whole school.
You are. It's a big responsibility.
That is.
And as you move up, you might want to think about more education. The article talks about certifications and master's degrees. They might not be required, but they can really help, especially if you want to be a leader.
Like training for a boss battle.
Exactly. A master's in college counseling or higher education administration or something similar can really help you understand the complexities of admissions and prepare you to make those big decisions.
Now let's go back to those essential skills for any aspiring admissions counselor.
Sure.
We talked about communication and sales, but the article also stresses organization. Why is that so important in this job?
Well, think about it. You're juggling applications and coordinating events and tracking data and meeting deadlines, and you're always talking to students and parents and faculty.
Oh, wow.
You have to be super organized to keep everything running smoothly.
So picture this. It's the busiest time of year for applications. Your inbox is overflowing. The phone won't stop ringing, and you've got a giant stack of files.
Oh, yeah.
How do admissions counselors stay sane in all that chaos?
It's all about having systems and prioritizing and managing your time.
I see.
You have to be able to multitask and not drop the ball. And remember, you can't do it all yourself.
So teamwork and delegating are important.
Totally. Admissions offices often work like a well-oiled machine. Everyone works together to make the process run smoothly.
But it's not just about logistics, right?
Yeah,
There's also the human side of things.
exactly.
The article talks about how important professionalism is in this role.
Yeah, as an admissions counselor, you're the face of the school. You're interacting with students and their families, representing the school's values and trying to make a good impression. It's about building trust and confidence, being approachable, and showing empathy.
So maybe skip the sweatpants and coffee-stained shirt for those campus tours.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Professional clothes, a positive attitude, and a real interest in helping students all contribute to that professional image.
Okay, so dress to impress, be organized, master communication, and hone those sales skills.
Sounds good.
Anything else we should add to our admissions counselor starter pack?
Well, we can't forget about technology.
Oh.
Admissions offices use software for everything from managing applications to communicating.
Yeah.
Basic computer skills just aren't enough anymore.
So what kind of tech skills are in demand these days?
You need to be comfortable with CRM systems and data analytics tools and online communication platforms.
Okay.
And since virtual campus tours and online events are becoming more common, having some video editing skills can be a real plus.
So it's like being a one-person marketing and tech support team all rolled into one.
It can feel that way sometimes.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's go back to that first crucial step, the bachelor's degree.
Okay.
Does it matter what you major in?
The article suggests picking a major that lines up with the job, but there's no specific requirement to become an admissions counselor.
So something like communications or psychology or even business could be helpful.
Exactly. Those fields teach you about communication and interpersonal dynamics and even marketing, which are all really valuable in admissions.
So if you're still deciding on a major and you're thinking about this career path, maybe keep those options in mind.
Good advice.
What if you want to go above and beyond and really stand out to those top schools? We talked about those certifications and master's degrees.
Yeah.
Are they really worth it?
They can really make you stand out, especially if you want a leadership role or want to focus on a specific area of admissions.
Okay.
A master's degree shows employers that you're serious about this field and have the skills to excel.
Makes sense.
And they can be really helpful if you're coming from a different background and want to switch careers into admissions.
Well, let's talk about what the job is actually like day to day.
Okay.
The article describes a lot of different responsibilities.
Yeah.
1 minute you're reviewing applications, the next you're giving a campus tour, and then you're off to a college fair.
It's always something different.
It sounds like there's never a dull moment.
That's for sure. You have to be flexible, adaptable, and able to wear many hats. And you need to be comfortable talking to all sorts of people, from high schoolers to parents to faculty.
Wow, that's a lot of hats.
It is.
So if you're someone who likes routine, this might not be the right job.
Probably not.
But if you like variety and working with people, this could be perfect.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that the specific things you do can change depending on the school and your specific role.
I see.
Some jobs might require a lot of travel for recruiting, while others might be more focused on events on campus and local outreach.
So there's something for everyone, whether you like to travel or stay close to home.
Exactly.
I'm curious about those college fairs.
Yeah.
What's it like to be there representing your school and trying to get the best students to apply?
It's a really high-energy environment. You're surrounded by other colleges, all trying to get the attention of students.
I bet.
You need to be able to explain what makes your school special, answer questions, and make a good impression.
So it's like a college admissions battle royale.
It can feel that way sometimes,
Yeah.
but at its core, it's about connecting with students, helping them understand their options, and finding the right fit for their goals.
Speaking of finding the right fit, the article mentions that admissions counselors work at all sorts of institutions, from small liberal arts colleges to big public universities to technical schools. How do you figure out what type of school fits best with your values and interests?
Research is key. Look at the websites of different colleges and universities,
Okay.
read their mission statements, learn about their programs and student life, and even reach out to people who work in admissions to get their perspective.
It's like doing a mini college search for yourself, except instead of looking for the perfect academic program, you're looking for the perfect work environment.
I like that.
college admissions can be incredibly competitive, both for students and for the people working behind the scenes.
Probably.
What are some of the biggest challenges admissions counselors face every day?
One of the toughest things is managing all the applications, especially during peak season.
Yeah.
You're under pressure to make fair decisions quickly while also following deadlines and school policies.
It's high stakes, and you're dealing with the hopes and dreams of tons of students.
It is.
It must be really rewarding, but also pretty stressful.
It is. There's a lot of pressure to get it right, to make sure that each application gets looked at carefully and that decisions are fair.
So it's not a job for the faint of heart.
No.
But for people who are passionate about education and helping students succeed, it can be an incredibly fulfilling career.
Definitely, it is. And there's a lot of room to grow in this career. As you get more experience, you can move into leadership roles, specialize in certain areas of admissions, or even switch to other jobs within higher education.
So it's not just about reviewing applications.
Yeah.
It's about being a mentor, a guide, an advocate, and a champion for students as they go through one of the most important transitions in their lives.
Exactly. And it's about shaping the future of higher education by bringing in and supporting the next generation of leaders, thinkers, and change makers.
We've talked about the skills, the challenges, the rewards.
Yeah.
But let's focus on the human element.
Okay.
What kind of person thrives in this role? What makes a truly great admissions counselor?
I think it's a combination of intelligence and heart. You need to be smart to analyze data and make tough choices, but you also need to genuinely want to help students.
It's like being a detective searching through applications, looking for those hidden gems.
I like that.
Those students who might not have perfect grades, but have something special that makes them stand out.
Yeah, it's about seeing more than just numbers and recognizing the person behind the application. And it takes empathy, understanding what the student is going through, their hopes and fears as they navigate this process.
You're not just looking at a transcript. You're looking at a life, a future.
Exactly. It's a big responsibility.
It is. But how do you develop that admissions intuition? Is this something you learn over time, or are some people just naturally good at spotting potential?
I think it's a little bit of both. Experience definitely matters.
I
The
see.
more applications you read, the more interviews you do, the more you start to see patterns and recognize the qualities that mean a student is likely to succeed. But some people just seem to have a knack for it. They can read between the lines and pick up on those subtle things that show a student's character and potential.
So it's like being a talent scout,
It is.
looking for those hidden talents, those diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
But it's not just about gut feelings, is it? There's a lot of analytical thinking involved, too.
Absolutely. Admissions counselors need to be able to put together information from different places.
Okay.
You look at grades, test scores, essays, recommendations, extracurricular activities. It's like solving a puzzle, trying to get a complete picture of who the student is and what they offer.
Sounds complicated.
It can be.
How do you weigh all those things and make a decision? Is there a secret formula, or is it more of an art than a science?
It's definitely more than just plugging numbers into a formula. Every school has its own criteria, its own values and priorities, and every applicant is different.
Yeah.
There's no one right way to do it. It's about finding that balance between objective data and subjective assessment.
So you're not just a gatekeeper. You're a curator, putting together the incoming class, building a diverse and exciting group of learners.
That's a great way to put it.
But let's be real. Not every applicant can get accepted.
True.
How do you handle those tough conversations when you have to tell someone they didn't get in?
That's one of the hardest parts of the job. You have to be honest, but also kind and encouraging.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that not getting into one school isn't the end of the world. There are lots of paths to success, and sometimes being redirected can lead to a better fit.
It's about helping students see the bigger picture, that there's more than one way to reach their goals.
Exactly.
But speaking of goals, what about your own career goals as an admissions counselor? What are some of the different paths you can take?
Well, as we said before, you can move up within an admissions office from counselor to assistant director to dean. But you can also specialize in certain areas like financial aid, international recruitment, or athletic recruiting.
So you can find a niche that you're really interested in.
Right.
What about going beyond the admissions office? Are there other fields where those skills and experiences would be useful?
Absolutely. Lots of admissions counselors move into roles in academic advising, student affairs, alumni relations, or even higher education administration.
Wow.
Some people use their communication and marketing skills to go into educational technology publishing or consulting.
So it's not a dead end. It can lead to a lot of different careers.
It can.
Okay, let's wrap things up with some final advice for our listeners who are thinking about becoming admissions counselors.
Sounds good.
What are some key takeaways?
I'd say first do your research.
Okay.
Look at different kinds of schools. Talk to people who work in admissions and try to shadow or intern in an admissions office to see what it's really like.
Get some real-world experience.
Exactly.
But beyond the practical experience, what about the personal qualities you need? How can someone figure out if they have the right personality and skills for this job?
Ask yourself some tough questions. Do you really enjoy working with people? Are you a good listener? Can you handle stress and make difficult choices? Are you passionate about education and committed to helping students succeed?
I see.
If you can say yes to those questions, then you might just have what it takes to be a great admissions counselor.
It's a demanding job,
It is.
but it also offers amazing rewards.
It does.
It's a chance to influence the future of higher education, one student at a time. And for those who are up for the challenge, it can be an incredibly fulfilling and meaningful career.
I agree. It's a chance to make a real difference in the lives of young people, to help them achieve their dreams and to contribute to a more just and fair society.
And on that note, we've come to the end of our deep dive into the world of admissions counseling.
Thanks for joining us.
We've explored the job, the skills you need, the challenges and rewards, and the different career paths available.
We hope this has been helpful for anyone thinking about a career in college admissions.
You can find all sorts of higher education jobs both locally and globally.
Exactly.
Thanks for coming along with us on this journey.
We'll be back next time for another deep dive into something important.
Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.
See you next time. Yeah, it's a mix. You need strong leadership skills, obviously, but you also need to know the admissions process inside and out. Be good at data analysis and be able to build relationships with all kinds of people, from faculty to alumni.
So it's not just applications anymore. You're actually shaping the future of the institution.
Exactly. And as you move up, you might want to think about more education. The article mentions certifications and master's degrees.
Yeah.
They might not be required, but they could give you a real edge, especially if you're aiming for leadership roles.
Like leveling up your skills.
Exactly. A master's degree in something like college counseling or higher ed administration could really give you a deeper understanding of admissions and help you make those big decisions.
Okay, so let's circle back to those essential skills we talked about earlier.
Okay.
We covered communication and sales, but the article really emphasizes organization.
Yeah.
Why is that so crucial in this role?
Just think about it. You're juggling applications, coordinating events, tracking data, meeting deadlines, and constantly communicating with students, parents, faculty.
It's a lot.
It is, you have to
Yeah.
be really organized to keep everything running smoothly.
Okay, so let's paint a picture. It's peak application season. Your inbox is overflowing, the phone's ringing off the hook, and you've got a stack of files a mile high.
Sounds about right.
How do admissions counselors stay sane amidst all that chaos?
It's all about systems prioritizing and managing your time effectively.
I see.
You have to be able to multitask without dropping the ball, and remember, you can't do it all alone.
So teamwork and delegation are key.
Absolutely. Admissions offices are often like well-oiled machines, everyone working together to make the process smooth and efficient.
Okay, so it's not all about logistics, right?
Mhm.
There's a human side to this too.
Definitely.
The article stresses professionalism in this role.
Right. You're representing the institution, you're interacting with prospective students and their families, projecting those values and creating a good impression.
Yeah.
It's about building trust and confidence, being approachable and empathetic.
Maybe ditch the sweatpants and coffee-stained t-shirt for those campus tours then.
Probably a good call: professional attire, a positive attitude, and a genuine interest in helping students all go a long way.
Okay, so dress to impress, be organized, master communication, hone those sales skills. Anything else for our admissions counselor starter pack?
Don't forget about technology.
All right, technology.
Admissions offices rely heavily on software for everything from application management to communication.
Okay.
Basic computer skills aren't going to cut it anymore.
Yeah, what specific tech skills are really in demand these days?
Being comfortable with CRM systems, data analytics tools, and online communication platforms is crucial.
I see.
And with virtual campus tours and online events becoming more common, having some basic video editing and production skills can be a real asset.
So you're like a one-person marketing and tech support team.
It can feel that way sometimes.
All right, let's rewind to that first crucial step.
Yeah.
The bachelor's degree.
Okay.
Does it matter what you major in?
It's a good question. The article suggests choosing a major that aligns with the responsibilities, but there's no specific field of study required.
So something like communications psychology or even business could be a good foundation.
Exactly. Those fields help you develop skills in communication, interpersonal dynamics, and even marketing, all valuable in the world of admissions.
So for anyone still deciding on a major and considering this career path, keep those options in mind.
Good advice.
What if you want to go above and beyond, maybe stand out to those top-tier institutions? We talked about certifications and master's degrees. Are those worth considering?
They can be a real differentiator, especially for leadership roles or specialized areas.
Yep.
A master's degree in college counseling, higher ed administration, or something similar shows a commitment to professional development and can open doors to those more specialized roles.
So like a secret weapon for a serious career in admissions.
Exactly. It shows employers you're invested in the field and have the knowledge and skills to excel. They can be especially helpful if you're coming from a different field and want to transition into admissions.
Now let's shift gears and talk about the day-to-day reality of this job.
Sure.
The article paints a pretty diverse picture. One minute you're reviewing applications, the next you're leading campus tours, and then you're off to a college fair.
It's a dynamic role. You need to be flexible, adaptable, and able to wear many hats. And comfortable interacting with all sorts of people, high school students, parents, faculty members.
That's a lot of hats.
Yeah,
So if you're someone who thrives on routine, this might not be the best fit.
probably not. But if you enjoy variety and working with people, this could be the perfect path.
Yeah, and it's important to know that the specific responsibilities can vary depending on the institution and the type of role.
Right. Some positions might involve a lot of travel for recruitment, while others might be more focused on campus events and local outreach.
So something for everyone, whether you're a road warrior or a homebody. What about those college fairs? What's it like being on the front lines representing your school and trying to attract those top students?
It's high energy. You're surrounded by other colleges, all vying for those prospective students.
I bet.
You need to be able to articulate your school's strengths, answer questions, and make a lasting impression.
It's like a college admissions battle royale. Everyone's showing off their best moves.
It can feel that way, but at its core, it's about connecting with students, helping them understand their options, and finding the right fit for their goals.
And speaking of finding the right fit, the article mentions admissions counselors work at all sorts of institutions, from small liberal arts colleges to large public universities to specialized technical schools. How do you know which type of institution aligns best with your own values and interests?
Research is key. Explore different college websites, read their mission statements, learn about their programs and student life, even reach out to current admissions staff.
Like doing a mini college search for yourself. Except you're looking for the perfect professional environment, not just the perfect academic program.
Exactly.
College admissions can be incredibly competitive, not just for students, but for those working behind the scenes.
For sure.
What are some of the biggest challenges admissions counselors face day to day?
One of the biggest is managing the volume of applications, especially during peak seasons.
Yeah.
You're under pressure to make fair and informed decisions while adhering to deadlines and institutional policies.
It's a lot of pressure you're dealing with, the hopes and dreams of so many students.
It is incredibly rewarding, but can also be stressful.
I bet.
There's a lot of pressure to make sure every application is carefully considered and decisions are made with integrity and fairness.
So it's not a job for everyone.
Definitely not.
But for those who are passionate about education and committed to helping students succeed, it can be a truly fulfilling career.
It really can be, and there's so much potential for growth as you gain experience.
Yeah.
You can move into leadership roles, specialize in certain areas of admissions, or even transition into other roles within higher education.
So it's not just about reviewing applications, it's about being a mentor, a guide, an advocate for students during one of the most important transitions in their lives.
Exactly, and it's about shaping the future of higher education by attracting and supporting the next generation of leaders, thinkers, and change makers.
Yeah, it's a blend of both. You need to be able to think analytically and make tough decisions,
Yeah.
but also have a genuine passion for helping students.
It's almost like you're a detective, going through these applications and you're looking for those diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
Students who may not have perfect test scores, but you see something in them.
Yeah, I love that analogy. It's about seeing beyond the numbers and recognizing the individual.
Exactly.
It takes empathy, being able to understand where the student is coming from, their hopes and fears during this process.
You're evaluating a life, a future.
It's a huge responsibility. How do you develop that, that admissions intuition? Is it something you learn, or are some people just naturally good at seeing potential?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. Experience definitely plays a role.
Yeah.
The more applications you review, the more interviews you conduct, the more you start to recognize patterns,
Yeah.
those qualities that suggest a student is likely to succeed.
I see.
But some people do seem to have a natural knack for it, you
Yeah.
know? They can read between the lines and pick up on those subtle cues that reveal a student's character and potential.
So you're like a talent scout for colleges.
Exactly.
It's not all gut feeling, though, right?
No, definitely not.
There's a lot of analysis involved, too.
Absolutely. Admissions counselors need to be able to synthesize information from a variety of sources.
Yeah, you're looking at grades,
Mm.
test scores, essays,
Yeah.
recommendations, extracurricular activities.
It's like putting a puzzle together,
Oh, wow.
trying to create a complete picture of who this student is.
So how do you weigh all those factors and make a decision? Is there like a secret formula, or is it more of an art than a science?
It's definitely more nuanced than a formula. Each school has its own criteria, its own values and priorities,
Mhm.
and every applicant is different. There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
So you're not just a gatekeeper. You're more like a curator,
I like that.
shaping the incoming class,
Yeah,
creating this, diverse and vibrant community.
absolutely.
But, let's be honest, not every applicant can be accepted.
That's true.
How do you deal with those tough conversations, when you have to deliver bad news?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the most challenging parts of the job.
I bet.
You have to be honest and transparent, but also compassionate and encouraging.
Yeah,
It's important to remember that a rejection from one school doesn't mean it's the end.
right.
There are many paths to success, and sometimes a redirection can lead to a better fit.
Yeah, you're helping students see the bigger picture. Speaking of goals, what about your own career goals?
Yeah.
What are some paths you can take as an admissions counselor?
Well, as we talked about before, you can move up within an admissions office, from counselor to assistant director to dean.
Yeah.
But you can also specialize in certain areas like financial aid, international recruitment, athletic recruiting.
So you can really tailor it to your interest.
Yeah,
What about moving beyond the admissions office altogether?
you can definitely do that.
Are there other fields where these skills and experiences would be valuable?
Absolutely. Many admissions counselors transition into roles in academic advising, student affairs,
Right.
alumni relations, even higher education administration.
Wow.
Some use their communication and marketing skills to pursue careers in educational technology, publishing, or consulting.
So it's a great foundation for a variety of careers.
It really is.
All right, let's wrap up with some final advice for our listeners who are interested in becoming admissions counselors. What are some key takeaways?
I think the most important thing is to do your research.
Yeah, explore different types of schools, talk to people in the field.
Exactly. Maybe even shadow or intern in an admissions office to really see what it's like.
Get that hands-on experience.
Exactly. And beyond that, it's important to ask yourself some honest questions about whether you have the right personality and skills for this role.
So, like, what kind of questions?
Ask yourself, do you really enjoy working with people? Are you a good listener? Can you handle pressure?
Mm.
Can you make tough decisions? Are you passionate about education? Do you really want to help students succeed?
Those are important questions.
If you can answer yes to those, then you might just have what it takes to be a great admissions counselor.
It's a challenging but rewarding career.
It really is.
You have the chance to shape the future of higher education one student at a time.
And for those up for the challenge, it can be a truly fulfilling and meaningful journey.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of admissions counseling.
Thanks for joining us.
We've explored the ins and outs of the job, the skills and qualities you need, the challenges and rewards, and the many career paths available.
We hope this has been helpful for anyone considering a career in college admissions. And remember, you can find all sorts of higher education jobs locally and globally.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. We'll be back next time for another deep dive into a topic that matters.
Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.